Let's talk about nuts and seeds. I received a question on Instagram from Tiffany who asked, do I eat nuts and seeds? Kind of what are my thoughts? And my answer is, to quote Ariana Grande, yes and. So I love nuts. Seeds are, well, sunflower seeds are really good. Seeds are interesting. And I do consume these, but definitely in less quantity than I used to. And I also really pay attention to quality, preparation, all of those things. So let's talk about this for a minute. And to give you a little background, first of all, you're seeing me for the first time. Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a 58-year, and I was born in 1966. So I'm a 58-year-old double certified health and weight loss coach, author, content creator, and finalist in the Maximum Cover Girl competition at the age of 58, competed with women mostly in their 20s and 30s. And I was that without going into my whole health story, I was vegetarian, sometimes vegan for over 30 years of my life, from early teens to my early 40s. In my early 40s, gradually transitioned to consuming animal protein and finally, and like now, lots of it. And so I'm open to, I have great respect for everybody's dietary choices. I'm really big on eating real food in its least processed state. And I can say with great certainty that in my last 15 years of consuming animal protein and more and more of it, my brain and body have never been better. So at 58, I'm in the best shape of my life, physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things. And so where do nuts and seeds fall into this? Well, I ate a lot of them, especially as I was vegan. Um, and they're a great mix. Both nuts and seeds are going to be a mix of fat, protein, and carbs, a little bit of everything. And in their cleanest, most natural state, like I really love raw nuts. They're delicious. Um, they absolutely contain some great nutrition, and they're very easy to overeat. And for some people, they can be inflammatory too. So there's that. They're very easy to overeat. So a couple of things I'm going to talk about are so yes, I eat them. They're not something that I eat every day. They're just not. They're great for travel. They're great for like a sweet, sometimes snacking on something like nuts, especially I can find raw cashews, like have this slight sweetness to them. I mean, they're delicious. But there used to be days where I just kind of pick at nuts, and I'd consumed, like, if you had measured out, it was probably 1,000 calories, but like I don't feel satisfied because I've just been picking. So a quarter cup of nuts is going to be around 200 calories. Yeah, 200 calories. And it's going to have less than 10 grams of protein, like way less than 10 grams of protein. Um, Nut butters are going to have around that same amount in 2 tablespoons because the nuts are all ground up. Nobody eats just 2 tablespoons of nut butter. So just be aware that it's really easy to consume more than we need and get a whole lot of calories and maybe not feel like we ate that much. You also want to look at how they're prepared. So nuts in their raw form, but of course you want to make sure they're fresh, or dry roasted, or even roasted in some clean oils, like avocado or coconut, are fine. But if you're looking at like the cans of nuts at the grocery store that are roasted in some crappy processed seed oils, flavor enhancers, all kinds of things, they are not doing you any favors. I'm just going to come right out and say that. So just say choose wisely. And then when it comes to seeds like chia, flax, all of those things, they can be great. They have some great actually purposes as ingredients. Like they bind things together. So in my first cookbook, I have a recipe for a flax flatbread that is so fun because you can make it sweet, savory, whatever you want. The ingredients are really flax seeds, water, and whatever seasonings you want, like ground flax seed. That's really fun. Chia is great the way it binds, sucks in liquid and kind of binds things together. Um, and they're great sources of fiber. But when it comes to like everyone talking about what great sources of omega-3s they are, um, that's kind of another yes and. Like, yes, they contain a lot of omega-3s, and your body needs to convert them to a more useful form. So our bodies have to work to use the omega-3s in flax or chia, things like that, where if we're getting it from sardines, pastured eggs, natural sunlight on our skin, hello, it doesn't have to work. It's in the most usable form. So I'm going to throw that out there also. Again, not telling you nuts and seeds are bad. Just be aware of these things. So do I eat them? Yes, not in great quantity. I also want to talk about peanuts, which technically are a legume. Um, Peanuts are actually a little higher in protein than most nuts. Also, most of us love them. Yes, they can be very allergenic. Yes, they can be inflammatory, just like regular nuts. But like I will find dry roasted peanuts without salt because the minute they have salt added, they typically have some other crap added too. And they're a great, like they saved our life when my daughter and I were traveling, and when we were in Paris, we were like so hungry in the night, and like I had some peanuts in my suitcase, and that kind of saved us the one night. We still laugh about that. Um, and also I do like the powdered peanut butter. I use PB Fit Organic because it's minimally processed. It's basically what's left over after they make peanut oil. So it is higher in protein, um, lower in calories and fat, not that I'm against fat, and just a great way to add that peanut butter flavor. It's great mixed in with like Greek yogurt or blended cottage cheese, just to get that nice peanut butter flavor without as many calories. So those are my thoughts on nuts and seeds. Again, they're not good or bad. They can be really good or they can be bad. There's a lot of factors involved, including your needs, your goals, how your body reacts. So thank you so much. Drop any questions in the comments. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you again soon.